Hello, this is Jewel T. Lennart, and I would like to welcome you to Ask Me Anything. So, my idea behind this event was that I can remember when I started my business, just there were many, many times where I just had a question. I just wanted to find out the answer to something simple. And we have a lot of tools now to do that. We have, AI, we have Chat GPT and Gemini and all those other tools. But sometimes it helps when you can actually talk to someone and ask them a question. And maybe there's a follow up question just to help you to solidify your understanding of something that you're working on, right? So, as I went through my streamline and scale, which I have a masterclass on Thursday for streamline and scale, where I go through this process that I've been taking my business through. One of the things that I really, that's really important to me was to create an ecosystem. In other words, I wanted to think about if, as an entrepreneur, as a founder, what are the things that would really, really make my life easier? What are the things that would really help me just as I run this race. A lot of times as a founder, I feel like I'm driving a car and trying to change the tires on the car at the same time, right? And so I thought, you know what would help if I could just hop on, if I just knew that there was a certain time where I could just hop on and ask a question. That would be so helpful to me. And so I made a commitment that every Tuesday at 2, I would come out here and just make myself available. And so the way this works is that if you chat, you should chat your question, and that lets me know that there's someone who has the question. Now, the kicker is that you have to, this works best on YouTube because if you're on LinkedIn, you have to have your profile set to publicly visible, or you will not be able, your chats will not show up. But I invite you to ask me anything about marketing technology, marketing automation. I will help you with the information that I have. If it's something I don't know, then I'll let you know I don't know. I'm not going to pretend to know something I don't, but I do have quite a bit of experience in this area after 20 years of helping large companies implement successful programs with marketing IT. I picked up a few things. So with that, I'm just doing this quick introduction. I'm actually going to go off. I'm just going to put this note here to uh, let you know that you can ask a question, and then I'm gonna go work on some stuff, right? Until someone joins, and I'm here no matter what. So say, for example, you're looking at this on the replay and you go, you know what? That's a good idea. I hadn't thought about the questions that I might have, but it's good to know. Then it's okay. It's okay. I'm committed to be here. So go ahead and maybe next week you'll join. The point is that I'm committed to be here. I set aside this time for you. So if you have questions, Tuesday at 2, you can ask the question. Okay. So I'm going to go off camera now and wait for any questions for about 30 minutes, and then I'll be out. Bye for now. I muted myself. Okay, let me start over. Uh, no one's gonna get this far because I had the sign on anyway. So who's even gonna be watching? But listen, so I'm gonna reread the question because I didn't have my mic on. So this question is from Wahad Mala, and the question is, um, how do you recommend balancing automation with a personal touch in marketing? So this is what I recommend. So, what I recommend is that first and foremost, any content that you create should have your voice. Okay. So, and this goes back to really understanding your business and how you want leads to connect with you and how you want them to uh, experience your business. And this is what we're going to talk about in the Streamline and Scale framework as we're building that out beginning this Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Is what do you want their experience to be? Okay. And how would you have a conversation with them? The thing that we miss a lot of times on content is actually talking to a person. We're actually speaking to a person who's interested possibly in helping you, having you help them solve their problem, right? And so that's the first thing, is make sure that you're just being real and having candid content and candid feedback for that person. Now, I'll admit, sometimes I have ChatGPT help me because I tend to be very direct. And so sometimes I'll type up a message and I'll put it in ChatGPT and say, can you warm this up? Because my nature is very direct and it helps me, right? But it's still my words, my message, my conversation. Okay. Now, when it comes to automation, everyone should have, based on your understanding of your business and based on how you're going to expose someone to your business, a sequence of communications that help your lead, your qualified lead, to learn more about your business, to be helped, to provide some value added content, and to help you to follow up. Now, the way I do this is in the platform, we have what's called a manual call. Or sometimes I will create for myself a task. So I should go through my pipeline. Okay, that'll be it for another day. So say for example, I have what's called a 7x7. So you send an email in the morning, you call them in the afternoon, you send an email the next day. Maybe you hit them up on social media. You set up however you want, but within that process, make sure that you're setting some type of touch point where you are actually getting on the phone and leaving a message, or sending a text message that's very like impromptu, that represents you, so that you can interject like they know they're dealing with a real person. They don't think they're dealing with a bot. If I sense I'm dealing with a bot, I try, and I'm a techie person, right? I know the value of having someone come in and the value of having that automation. But if I sense that it's just like, it's too robotic, then I just don't engage. Just being honest, I just don't engage. Or the other thing that I would recommend is don't, and I've just literally just received an email like this before. I know it's important for us to communicate and understand our target audience, right? I'm harping that all the time. But be a help and not a hindrance. I cannot tell you how many messages I've gotten from people that were a little bit offensive to me, right? The one I got, man, I think I deleted. Like I got one today that says, so it says something like, it was in a negative light, right? It was kind of like, well, I know, agencies like you. And I was thinking to myself, first of all, I don't even know you. Okay. And then second of all, how do you know that I'm like that? I don't think I've talked to you before. So I kind of got offended. I had the neck roll going because I was like, excuse me. And then I just unsubscribed, right? So I think it's important for you to always come from a position of being genuinely concerned about the lead, the person you're connecting with, and genuinely concerned in helping them to solve the problem that you can help them solve. Don't put them off. So again, to answer the question, thank you, Rahad, for the question. It's a great question. To answer the question is, with automation, you build in human touch points, build in human interaction. So maybe it's every maybe you've got like a 3-week or sequence is maybe like 7 to 10 touch points, make sure that half of those, maybe not half, at least one or two of them are you actually reaching out to a person, even if it's a voicemail. Like, I like to hear a human voice. I like to know that when you sent me that contact information, there was actually a person. Hey, this is Jewel. I know you requested this downloadable and just wanted to follow up and make sure you got it. Make sure it's not in spam. I like that. I like people who calling me. I might not always answer, but I like it. So hopefully that answers your question regarding to how do you with using all of our automation that we love, how do you keep it personal? The answer is interject yourself into it. Make sure that your content messaging is personal and positive and not offensive. Make sure that you're reaching out to people not as often as you would be if you had to do it manually, right? Can you imagine making 7 phone calls? Like having a list of 20, 30 people you're following up with and then having to call them all, that would be like too much. But to be able to make one phone call in a series of 7 to 10 touches, that's nice. And so I do that by reminding myself 2 ways. One is the automatic manual call feature. The other thing that I do within the platform is I'll send myself a to-do. I'll add a to-do to my list to contact someone. So hopefully that helps. And let's see, we got a few more minutes here for Ask Me Anything. We got like 10, 12 minutes. So I'm going to go off, but you're welcome to make sure and put in the chat your question. That's how I know someone's here, because I'm just kind of hanging out. And I don't want to just be sitting here doing nothing. So, but if you have a question, put it in the chat and I'll see it come through in the chat, and then I'll hop on back out and answer your question. Okay. All right. See you in a minute. What did I do? How come that didn't? It's not showing my image. Oh, okay. How come that's not showing anything? Oh, okay. I was going to go out and I don't see, I'm looking at the Ask Me Anything here on LinkedIn and I don't see anything on the screen. Why is it doing that? I don't know. Let me see if it's on YouTube. I make a lot of moves. I do. I like to, and so this is a little bit experimental. I've never done anything like this before on LinkedIn, and I don't see anything on the screen. Why is it doing that? Okay, let me try this again. I see myself. Oh, I make a lot of moves. I do. I like to, and so this is a little bit experimental. I've never done anything like this before on LinkedIn, and I don't see anything on the screen. Why is it doing that? Okay, let me try this again. I see myself. Oh, I make a lot of moves. I do. I like to. And so this is a little bit experimental. I've never done anything like this before. On LinkedIn, and I don't see anything on the screen. Oh, that mic sounds horrible. Okay, let me try this again. I see myself. I make a lot of moves. I do. I like to. And so this is a little bit experimental. I've never done anything like this before. On LinkedIn, and I don't see anything on the screen. Oh, that mic sounds horrible. Okay,